The Green Paper on National School Nutrition is now white as the Senate combs through the 30-plus page policy after years of pressure from the public. It's to be implemented in all schools, but concerns have been raised over just how many students will benefit given the budgetary constraints. Courtney Lewis has more.
1 month after its approval in the cabinet, the long-awaited school nutrition policy has made its way to the upper house. The education minister says the policy, which is the collaborative effort of the Ministries of Health, local government and agriculture, seeks to remedy issues of unregulated vending around schools and poor nutrition, which delays development among the nation's youth. Even more, she announced the rollout of a $1 billion breakfast program to serve about 69,000 students in schools under the National School Learning and Intervention Plan.
This is part of a broader $9 billion program that aims to reach 200,000 children with a nutritious breakfast, snack, and/or midday meal. We know, again, that children cannot learn if they are hungry. And in many of these schools that we don't see the performance that we want, they are in communities and in families that are challenged in providing the nutrition.
However, questions emerged over the reach of the program and budgetary allocation.
If there's 160,000 children being fed by PATH, on what basis, therefore, did we assume it to be sufficient for only 69,000 to receive breakfast? This would leave approximately another 100,000 not being considered.
The opposition spokesman on education, Senator Damian Crawford, also questioned the nutritional value of the meals as dietary needs differ per child. He urged a review of the selection criteria, noting poor nutrition, though a factor, is not indicative of poor performance.
There are some schools that are being targeted. Nutrition, and that's because of their performance. Nutrition can't be school-specific. I mean, as high a school as Campion might have a child with nutritional food insecurity. And so, therefore, I think that the variable of selection being the schools that are underperforming would leave many of our children to be at risk of continued food insecurity.
But the minister says the cooks will be guided by informed dietary standards. She adds resource constraints were a pivotal factor in the program's rollout.
And so our decision was those schools that were determined by the National Education Inspectorate, that's our quality assurance body for schools. They identified, based on their evaluations of all the schools, which were the schools that needed the most interventions. And it correlated with the schools that had more students who would have been kind of correlated with those who would be having deficiencies or would need this kind of support. And so we made the decision that we would target those 69,000 children in those schools.
She maintains it was a strategic decision by the government due to finite resources. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.